Hello students, and welcome to the week 6 example 4 video. So in this video we will be making this part, so it's sort of like a pipe bracket thing. So my strategy going into this will be to first make this front view. As you can see, the majority of the detail is captured inside of this, and then I'll just need a second sketch for this little feature down at the bottom. The majority of the holes, so these ones at the top, this one over here, and this one, I will be making use of the hole feature to make them. But this large hole over here, including this cutout, I will add that detail into the sketch for, and then just extrude it accordingly. Okay, so let's get started. Oh, and for this one, I don't have another screen, so I will be jumping in between NX and the sketch as we go along. Okay, so start in the front view, and then we're going to add those 3 circles. So I'm just going to add them in roughly here, like that, that, and that. Okay, so as you can see, the smallest one here, its dimension is, it is 70. Then this cutout has a diameter of 75, and the outside has a diameter of 100. Okay, all in millimeters here. Okay, so let's just move these dimensions so that we can actually see which is which. So the first one's basically already there at 70. Oh, it didn't apply. 70, there we go. So you can just double click on them to edit them. Then this one is 75, and this one is 100. There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to add this bottom one. So you can see that its center is in line. Well, this is all symmetrical about the ZY plane. Yeah, but around the ZY plane, it's all mirrored. But I'm still going to make the entirety and not mirror it. This is not too much effort to just do the whole thing. Okay, so the bottom consists of a straight line. So let me just start there. So you want to make a tangent. So you can just sort of like move it up and down, and then it will realize, oh, you don't want it to be tangent. But it's also not a straight line. It goes a bit at an angle. Then we go over into a curve, and then another straight line that it wants to make tangent to everything. But I'll just put it in and then remove the tangent constraint. So point on curve, get rid of that, and then immediately delete that tangent before it becomes a problem. So this should be in line with the z-axis. So I'll just add that point on curve and make these to be horizontally constrained. So that will then cause this to be symmetrical. I can see this one isn't exactly tangent over here. So I'm just going to make it tangent. There we go. Now it looks a bit silly. But this radius should be 25, so let's quickly change that. 25 radius. The distance is 90, so from the horizontal. So just move this out of the way. There we go. So it's already basically 90, but now it's actually 90. And then we have the angle of this line. So that angle should be 82.5 degrees. So, and that's also from the horizontal. So 82.5 degrees, there we go. Now that's fully constrained. So now I'm quickly just going to show you, because we're going to add the hole here using the hole feature and not by adding a circle here. But to do that, I will need to add a point to this. The reason why is if as I finish here, you see there's nothing here. So I can't add a hole feature. I'll have to then add another sketch to give it a point to reference from. Or while I'm in the sketch, I can say point, add a point there, just close that, finish. There you can see there's now a point that I can use for my hole feature. Okay, just gonna save it. Complains about the sketch, but it's fine. It's complaining about the detail drawing that is part of this NX file, but don't worry about that. Okay, so now the top part. So I'm going to use a rectangle first to get my rough shape, and then work from there. So rectangle, it's point on curve here. Then I'm taking it past this side because I want to manually make it point on curve, and so that I'm sure that it is actually connected. So I'm just going to put it in there. Then make this point on curve. Oh, I misclicked. Let's try again. There we go. and this bottom line I'm going to make a reference line since I'm not going to be using it. Then the width is 55. There we go. And the height from the horizontal is 100. From the x-axis is 160. I'll put that over here so that it doesn't clutter it up. 160. Then I'll just zoom out a bit. There we go. That's better. Now for this one, I'm also going to be using the whole feature. So for that, I'll also add a point. I'll make that in line with the vertical axis, and it should be 105 from the x-axis. So 105, there we go. Now for this little hat we have here, or roof, or whatever you want to call it, I'll use the profile tool and add it in roughly there. I'll say these 2 points should be horizontally constrained with one another. They should be in line with the vertical axis. There you go. So now I just need to add this dimension and this dimension. So it should be 75 from the top. So from here to here, that should be 75. And the other one should be 60. This one is 60. Okay, and now I'm just going to move these to the side so that my sketch is not as cluttered. I'll also move these ones a bit upwards, put this over here, and move this one off to the side. Okay, so now I think that's all the detail I'm going to add on this one sketch. So finish, and just save it. Okay, so now I can start by extruding. So I'm going to first extrude the center part, as it is what everything else connects to. So that should be extruded a total distance of 200 millimeters. Okay, so extrude. So I'm first going to extrude the entirety without this, and this now cut out, and then do the cutout afterwards. So I want to use region boundary curves. I'm going to use that, and just move over to this side, as well as just zoom in there, as well as that. So both of them, and that should be 200. Show result, yes, that is correct. Okay, so apply. Then I want to cut this out, but I don't want to select the face of the extrude, because then if I change that extrude, it could break everything afterwards. So I'm just going to hide it by clicking on the eye, and then I'm going to select my little annulus here, then just unhide that body again. And now I want it to be from 80 to 160. So 80 to 160, and it should subtract from that other body. There we go, here you can see it. I will add the radii later. Okay, so then I'm going to do this bottom extrusion. So it's quite simple. It's that one, and it's going to be going from 0 to 50. So from 0 to 50, and it must unite and not subtract. Okay, there we go. Right, now we want to do the top. And this is also, you can see 20, 20, and this is 20. And if you add that, that's 180. So there's 20 on this side. So we can create only one of these and then mirror it to the other side. Okay, or you can make both. You must decide which is less trouble for you. If you make one and mirror it, if you want to make any changes, you can just change the one. Okay, so I'm going to first extrude. Let's go extrude this one. So it's from the edge, and it goes, well, either 20 or 40. Doesn't matter, because it will be absorbed into this vertical one. So let's just make it 20. And it must unite it to this body. So that's correct. And then we want to extrude both of that. So you can also extrude this one, this bottom one 40, and the top one just the top part. You have many ways that, in which you can do it. This is just the way that I prefer. So it goes from 20 to 40. There we go. And also uniting it. Okay. then I'm going to quickly add two of my hole features. So first just this one. So that one I want to do on that point over there. There we go. Point of the sketch. So yeah. Let's do that one. And it must have a diameter of 25. See, this moved up a bit. So it's 25. Yes, that's already correct. And I just wanted to go hole depth should be through body. Okay, and subtracts it from the body. Oh, and I don't want both sketches. I see it's selected both. I just want that bottom one. I see this one, it wants to select both the points. Okay, we just want that point. So just be careful that you don't select the wrong thing. Okay, that's why you preview your results. Okay, so that's correct. Let's apply that. And now the top one is a 14mm hole. So over there. And now it's selected incorrectly. So let's right click, select from list, and say this point. And all these are really correct, except this should be 14. Show result. There we go. Apply. Okay, so now to mirror this, I will first need to add a datum plane. So I'll add this from the XZ plane. Just unhide this again. And then the distance should be in the middle. So that should be 100 or 200 divided by 2. So I'm just reversing the distance so that it's on this side. And the plane direction doesn't really matter because we're just using it for a mirror and not to sketch on. So I'm happy with that. I'll just move it up a bit so that I can see it. Okay, and then I will mirror. And for that, I want to mirror this extrude and this extrude and this hole. So if a mirror gives you issues, so that the body doesn't want to be solid, then you must also mirror the sketch. But if it doesn't, you can just mirror the other features. So around this plane, show results, that looks correct. And to check that this is all one body, it should be, because this, you see this entire face sort of highlights itself, but you can just say solid body, and you can see it's all one solid body. Okay, so that's the majority. Now we want this bottom part. So let's see, its distance from the top is 65. So I'm going to create a datum plane there and sketch on that datum plane. So I want to use the XY plane, and I want to go the other direction, 65. And then I want to draw on the bottom. So you see now I'm going to be drawing on the top, plane orientation. I'm going to change that. See, now I'm going to be drawing from the bottom. Okay. So now if I say sketch and this datum plane, it will move me over there. Okay. So this one, let's quickly see. So it is absorbed into this, and then it also goes into this top, but it's flush with that. So we must use our own initiative for some of the dimensions, just to make sure that it doesn't stick out over here or isn't connected or so on. Okay, so if we see here the distance from this point to the center of this hole, and also of this radius, which you can see is indicated from the center, is 60. So let's first draw the outline, shall we? So profile tool, and let me just quickly see, I want to be on this side. Okay, so I'm going to just start over here, go up, arc, down, connect. Okay, this should be in line with the y-axis. So now our distance to that point from the x-axis, let me just quickly right click, select from list, and I want, there we go, the x-axis. So this should be, what was it again, 60. Yes, this should be 60. Double click, 60, there we go. So now, I'll just close that. So now this edge should just be within this. Okay, so I'm going to decide to make it flush with this. So I'm going to make it 50, just so that it doesn't interfere with that other hole that we added. So we're going to go over here, select that, select this, and say 50. Okay, now you can see it pulled this line strange because it's not vertically constrained. So select that, vertical. Okay, now the sketch is fully constrained. I'll just go zoom out a little bit. But we also want to add a hole here later, so I'm going to add a point and finish that sketch. There we go. So now when I extrude that, I want to first of all extrude that the other direction, and then I want to go from 0, and now over here I can say I want to go until extended. Okay, so until selected and until extended will both work for this feature because it will be hitting this body. If you want to extrude towards a plane or so on, a plane or a face, but it won't be actually hitting that plane or face, then you want to use until extended. But if it will hit it, until selected will work better. So let's see, until selected, and then it should be this face. And here you can see it is working correctly, it's uniting it, and that will work. For this one, until extended should also work. Let's quickly see. Yes, so that both of them work, but until selected is the correct one to use for this. Okay, so now that's in, and then I just want to add a hole on this in this one as well. So over there, I'm not sure that it's selected the point correctly, so let me just try again. Yes, that point, existing point, and it must be 16 millimeters. And I wanted it to go, so now we must be careful. It says through body, so now it wants to go through the entire part, and we don't want that. So now we can say until next, so then it's essentially until the next face that it hits, so then it will stop there. Or you can also use until selected as we had for the extrude. I'll just say until next, subtract, okay, and now we have that hole only in the bottom. Okay, now we are almost finished. Now we just need to add a bunch of radii. Oh, I actually forgot. I wanted to add the radius here before mirroring. So I'm just quickly going to suppress a few of these. So up till the point here. So I'm just going to suppress them because I want to add a feature that's not dependent on them. So the safest thing is to suppress them, then add my edge blend, which has a radius of 12. So type there 12. This edge, just click there for it to update. Show result. Okay, that's correct. Then we're going to move it up and then unsuppress these. Now you will see it did not mirror because it is not selected in the mirror. So we just want to hold in control and say we want to mirror that as well. Okay. So now we can add our edge blends here at the bottom. So this one over here is has a radius of 10, and then these smaller ones at the sides, and you can see it's all connected going over here. I'll give you a check there. Actually, no, this one has a radius of 12, and these ones have a radius of 5. So always check very carefully if they are the same or not. So those ones are 5, that one is 12. Okay, so edge blend, this one is 10. Show results. Okay, apply. Then we want to say 5 for those ones and those ones. Apply. And then finally 12 for this one and this one, showing a result. There we go. Zoom in a bit. Okay, that looks like it all applied correctly. Okay, so I'm going to save it real quick, and then I'm also just going to hide some of my sketches and data planes to tidy up my sketch a little bit. Oh, I almost forgot this inside one. Okay, so let me quickly add a section plane in here. So I'll quickly see here. It was at view. Here we go. Okay, so I'm going to say edit section, so it will then automatically want to create for you a section, and it already, so now you can see I can select different planes that I want to cut it from. So I want this plane so I can see this cross section, sort of like this, and then I can move it this way or this way, but I want it to be in the middle. So let me just check here. Okay, it's already in the middle there, that's fine. Say okay, and now I can add the 5mm edge blend. So just say 5, otherwise it's going to be too large for the actual geometry. 5 over here, 5 over there. Just be careful to select the right edge. There we go, the inner one. Okay, so now that's correct, and now I can just say in the view, clip section off. So then you see it is correct. So essentially that just hides half of the sketch, or that part that's clipped off, so that you can actually see on the inside and make changes over there. Okay, so now the material that we applied, so now to check if we actually did it correctly, moment of truth, is the material that is AISI 304 annealed, okay, stainless steel. So solid body, this one, there we go, and it's this material. So I use that for these ones as well. I'll just suppress them for now. So that one's correct, and now I want to measure. Where am I? There we go. Measure, select from list, solid body, and I want all of these ones. Okay, so this is the one that we already have, and now to unsuppress the original feature. So these should now be the same, and they are not the same. So now the fun thing is to figure out why they're not the same, because they are supposed to be the same. Okay, so this is indicative of me missing a feature. So let's quickly see which one did I miss. I'm first going to hide or suppress this one again. Actually, yeah, so it would be kind of unfair of me to just see, oh, what's not the same between the two, and try and figure it out, because you don't have that option. So let's go back over here and see what did we miss. I will spare you the pain of watching me read through everything, and then I'll just quickly pause the recording and then come back to you. Okay, so I'm back. I realized what I did incorrectly. You can see here that this, if you look at the relationship between this little circle and this arc, just get the correct one, it doesn't exactly look the same over here. So when I added this one in, you can see it's over constrained because I quickly checked this radius, oh sorry, this diameter is currently 50, where the diameter should then be 40. So what happened was, I have here a point and curve constraint that I accidentally put in when making it. And then I just saw, oh, it's fully constrained, and I moved on. But I never actually put in the dimensions that I was supposed to put in. So I'm just going to delete that one. And now I can make this, yeah, sure, I'll make this 40, as it actually should be. There we go. Now it's fully constrained, the same way I specified it over here. Here you can see. And then say finish. And now, if we actually compare to the original, then it is finally the same. Okay, so that's again a lesson in being very careful to actually put in the dimensions that are given to you. So yeah, I was in a rush and I didn't check properly, and I just saw fully constrained and moved on instead of checking did I actually specify everything correctly. So yeah, it happens to all of us. That's why you should always be very careful when creating a part. I'm just going to suppress this again and hide this sketch. There we go. So remember, especially in tests, especially when you're under pressure, make sure that you specify everything the same way that it was given to you, or at least specify all the dimensions that are given to you. Because if you are specifying less dimensions than were given to you, that means you're missing something. Okay, so you're going to have something that's fully constrained, but it may not be correctly constrained. So yeah, so learn from these kinds of mistakes, okay, because it happens very, very easily, especially when you're under pressure. Okay, good luck with the rest of the work and the homework. Cheers.